87% of realtors get into the business and get out of the business in 2 years. That doesn't exist in our world.
We have massive visions around growing our businesses, and we are always looking to add talent to our world. We do everything in our power to ensure the people we surround ourselves with defy the odds, get into production, and build massive lives for themselves.
If you are a realtor looking to get into the business, we have a blueprint for success.
With locations all across Canada, reach out to us. Let's talk about partnership and opportunities. We are looking forward to it. Hello again. Welcome to another episode of Sales Beast. Today we've got Daniel Berger from Quebec joining us today. And I am so excited. I got the pleasure of interviewing him on a conference, I think earlier this year or last year, and got to learn a little bit about his story. And I really wanted to let our listeners, all of our avid fans, hopefully out there, listen to his story as well. And I know he's got some exciting news that we're going to be diving deep into. So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation.
So before we get started, why don't you just give us a little bit of a glimpse into who you are, your business. Tell us what the people need to know.
So I had two previous lives before becoming a real estate agent. I was a figure skater. I went to national levels, and then I coached figure skating for 18 years, all the way to the international levels. And then I met my boyfriend at 2003. At that time, he was already a financial advisor, and then I become a financial advisor also. We have a financial firm, and since 2010, I'm full-time as a real estate agent.
I was reading through your profile and doing quite a bit of research on you. Before we got on this, it's been a while since Anna and I have done a podcast, and a while since we've spoken to each other. And like I'm pumped to talk to you, not just about what you've done in real estate, but what you've done in the past. I know you climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, which is crazy. I've never met someone that did that. I know you're a high-level figure skater, but what really, really, really got me excited about you was the life by design you live. Anna mentioned to me that you're not in Canada 12 months out of the year, and that's something I want. It's something every single day me and my wife talk about. How can we leverage ourselves out so we can live a life by design? And you're probably the second person I've ever met in my whole life that's actually done that. The other one is Chris Suarez. So you're in some pretty elite company, and I feel absolutely blessed to have you here today.
And being at Keller Williams and having the opportunity to take the bold class, Life by Design. And this is at that time that I realized that in our business, it is possible to use leverage and build something without being in the business, but being on the business instead. And at that time, my focus totally changed. And I was focusing on building that business in order for me, because since I was like a little boy, I always wanted to spend my winter. You know, for people who live in Montreal, in Quebec, winter is horrible. And I don't like winter. So Anna, when you interviewed me last year, I was already in Puerto Vallarta. I spent 4 months. And this year, I'm leaving in a month from now. I'm going to be spending 6 months in Puerto Vallarta. And all because I was able to live a life by design and build everything around, so I'll be able to work remotely no matter where I am.
So talk to us about that. How have you set up your business and your systems so that you can spend that time away and not have to be in the country? I think ultimately maybe COVID helped propel that a little bit further because
Absolutely.
we didn't need to be in person. But give us the details. What does that look like?
Yeah, actually COVID gave me the opportunity to bring my business 5 years faster than I was expecting. From our clientele to accept that we have that kind of meeting, like through a Zoom or whatever, even with sellers, because every time I have someone who asking me to sell the property, I always have the first meeting over Zoom, and then I introduce myself, my team, who we are, what we're going to do for them, and based on that meeting, I ask them, is there something that you would like to keep going on? If so, then we're going to have someone going to your place. But when they asked me to go to their place first, I said, let's have a conversation before, and then we're going to keep going about your property in particular, and also about the buyer's side. Since January 2019, I haven't done one visit with the buyer. So I have a team, I have 7 agents that works with me. So they help me on the listing. And in return, I always send them the lead for the buyers. So that gave me the opportunity to be away and still have the business going on no matter where I am.
Okay, so to recap really quickly, so you've got those 7 agents that are servicing the listings while you're away, and they just take on the buyers full time. Like you don't touch buyers anymore.
I don't touch buyers anymore. And those agents always work with my buyers like all year round, even though when I'm in Montreal. So that doesn't change. The model stay the same. I have one part-time admin. She works 3 hours a day. I don't have a full-time admin. I have 3 virtual admin. And, the red book in the millionaire real estate agent, they said red light, green light. So I apply that to every expenses. Is it an expenses going to be an investment? If not, I don't do it. If it is, if I still need it, always find a way to do it like the cheapest way, but the most effective way also.
I have a question for you about that. So I'm not as brave as you, but this year I'm pretty excited about it. In 2023, I'm going to go spend a month in Antigua with a client of mine and run the business from Antigua. And I have a lot of, I don't know if they're fears or limiting beliefs around that. I wonder things like what will happen to the culture in our office? What will happen to productivity in the office? What will the agents on my team think where I'm in a different country, enjoying myself and they're back here in the cold? Is that a concern of yours? How do you manage that? And how do you ensure things still run smoothly where you're in a different country?
It's never been a concern, probably because it's been my goal since day one when I started growing the team. And they knew when I'm going to be 57 in a month. So when I was 50 years old, I put everywhere Freedom 55. And people were asking me, how are you going to do it? I said, I have no clue. If you ask me today, I mean, it is not possible, but I just put it there. I'm going to go work towards that goal. Today, it is possible. And my team, since day first, they know exactly where I'm going to be in 5 years from now. They know that I'm not going to be here during the winter. So it's not a surprise. It's something that we prepare. It's something we build. Like any kind of a business, there's a model. So you don't change suddenly. You prepare yourself. And the first year when I went away was for 1 month. And I said, this is what I'm going to learn, what needs to be adjusted, and what is it that already works well. And the second year I was supposed to go 2 months, the third year 3 months, but I went from 1 to 4 months to 6 months. I think it was too much fun. So I skipped the 2 years and the 2 months and the 3 months. So I moved a little bit quicker.
I can only imagine. I don't live in Quebec, but if I did, I got in the business 5 years ago, I would come work for you simply so you could show me the path to do that. I can only imagine how inspiring that is to your people.
And I like when you say that, because when I get people on board, I always tell them, I said, you have your business, I have my business, and we have a business together. So my business, whatever comes from my business, stay in my business, and the leads and everything stay in my business. And my role is to help you copy paste my business in order for you to do exactly the same. So obviously, if they choose to work and I choose to work with them because we agree on the business, and I see many of my agents, like now they're going on their own and they are very successful and top 3 in the office and everything. Now they're beating me in the results. And that's the best reward I can have, having them succeed more than what I'm doing now. That's the best thing as a coach.
That's incredible. There's so I have a woman in our office, you know her, Anna, Nikki Calford, and we had a little team camping trip last weekend, and Nikki came out to visit us, and she was upset. She's, Mike, I didn't sign this listing, and the people that listed the house, they decided to go with someone I was coaching. I'm like, Nikki, that is the best thing ever. Train someone to be better than you are, and she's amazing. I know that. That's an incredible feeling when your people start doing better than you.
I'm never disappointed to lose any business to one of my agents. Never.
I think what's really cool, what you mentioned earlier, is that like your people already know your plan 5 years ahead, right? So if you're setting that expectation from day one, then there's never any surprises, right? And they're prepping themselves internally while you're also prepping yourself to take those massive leaps of faith. I just went away for 2.5 weeks and I was having a panic attack the whole time, but I was finally able to like actually enjoy it. And I'm so thankful to have an amazing team like yourself. You probably are so happy the way that you set it up. So can you maybe share a little bit more about what your vision is going forward? Because you did tell us a little bit before this call started, and I think you have a pretty amazing plan coming up in the next year or so, right?
Yeah, I have a coach. So, and I was telling Kelly that I want to go retirement pretty soon, and I didn't have the precise day at that time. So she said, "Have you read the book by Nick Carter called The Golden Handoff?" I said, "No, I never heard of that book." That was like in Puerto Vallarta, maybe last February. And then there was a guy, because I was walking by the pool at where I was in Puerto Vallarta, and there's a guy came to me. He said, "Hey, I'm also a real estate agent. I heard that you're one." I said, "Yeah." He's from Remax in Alberta. And I was telling him I'm planning my retirement. He said, have you read the book, The Golden Handoff? So that was the second time in 2 weeks. And I said, "No, but I'm going to do right away." So I started reading that book, and it is exactly the answers that I was looking for, how to go retirement and not, we work so hard and then suddenly we close the boutique and then nothing's going on. It doesn't make any sense. We have to keep going on and someone else is going to take over. So that's what the book explains. So I'm putting exactly what the book proposed, obviously adjusted to what are my needs. So as of December 31st this year, I will be going on retirement, and I have all those agents going to be adapting my business. So we are in the process to transfer everything to make things correctly. I'm making YouTube. I'm be sending to my clients to introduce my new partners who will be the agent that we take over. And for me, as January 1st, I will be doing coaching. And as you know, coaching is like half an hour a week on a computer, Wi-Fi. I can do it from anywhere. So that would be my freedom that now I'll be able to get all my energy on my coaching company.
That's amazing. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
And second off, wow. Like I think as realtors, a lot of people don't think about like, okay, what's my end finale, end goal, end plan. And you don't really hear about celebrating a realtor's retirement party. It's usually like the business eventually dwindles out, and nobody really wants to be trading until their deathbed. So you have that model, which is the golden handoff. I know that there's an agent in our office that's actively working on partnerships around the golden handoff. Can you talk a little bit about the golden handoff for those that are listening that might not know what it actually means?
Yeah, so it's called a retiring agent and adapting agent. So the RA and the AA. And it is sad to see agents that build everything and then slowly fading out, like you said, Anna, and then until it dies, instead of having someone who's still like very willing to work in the business, to do this stuff and everything, might as well just lead your business to someone who's going to do what they have to do and keep growing that business. So the way it works, if I lead you a lead, so I changed a little bit instead of having the first year, second year, third year, because everything was going on like a pandemic and everything, we don't control some stuff. So in the first transaction, I will receive 30% from whatever has been the transaction they've done from the lead that was coming from my business. And then 20% the second transaction, 10% for the third transaction. The beauty of that, why I say win-win, because my client will still see me active as a business partner with them. And everything the adapting agent who's going to generate as a new business from a lead that I give him. So even though he doesn't do a transaction directly with the lead I give him, but that lead give him his neighbor, that's not my business. So the adapting agent, he's doing a good job. He has like all this database that he didn't have yesterday. And then today he has 500 contacts that he didn't have before. Just had to start doing his job. Like we're going to have some plans that we're going to put together. I'm going to be starting the plan. I'll be faded out, and then he's going to be doing it, and then get leads. Just to get in touch and everything. All that new business will be owning 100% to that adapting agent. So then it becomes a win-win. And for me, it gives me an opportunity to have an income over the years. So it doesn't like, I don't sell my business. And who's going to buy my business? I have over 5,000, 4,000 contacts. It would be too stressful for anyone to purchase it. And on the other hand, I still have those people I have access to. They pay me on result, and it gives them the chance to propel themselves to the next level within like as soon as send them the contact.
And when you make this transition, are you still going to oversee things? Are you going to be there as a coach, guiding these agents through the process of working with your people? Is that
correct? Because I see always it has to be a win-win. So when I coach someone, obviously, I mean, the goal is to have better results. So when they're going to be taking my clientele, and I will be also involved at the beginning to fade out, to introduce themselves and everything, and be able to coach them in the business. So they will be having a better production and better results. So they will be making more money with my clients or their own business or whatever they leverage for. And I've been coaching with them. So it's all going in positive circles that everybody's going to win everything out at the end of it.
I think it's the smartest way to go. I know several people that have implemented the golden handoff strategy. And I mean, for those listening that don't know what the golden handoff strategy, if you're an agent looking to exit the business, hopefully, eventually, well, that's an amazing strategy. And also for agents that are newer to the business, we have a large population of agents that are in the 50 plus category, right? And that's an opportunity for you to be able to grow your business as well. So how can you partner with those people, present them an opportunity for them to exit the business in a way that's graceful, that allows their clients to continue to get service, and that allows for maximum growth on both sides?
Yeah. The KW Urbain, my market center, asked me to give a presentation about the golden handoff. And I was telling the agent is that it's not only for the old agent, it's good for the new agent, because you're going to be able to see he's starting to fade out. So it's a good time for me to reach to that person and say, do you want me to take over your business before it dies? And also, when you start building a business, you want to build it in a way you'll be able to pass it away to someone else. We all know that database and everything you put in is very important. So if you know that right from the beginning and you build correctly your business, you're going to have much more when it's going to be when it's going to be your turn to go retirement and ask someone else to take over. Then you'll be ready.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many agents out there that have their contacts in their phone or on a piece of paper. I mean, that's not a business, right? We need to be managing it properly in a way so that it can be handed off. And that's also a way not even to just hand it off, but like yourself, you created so much leverage in your life through your administrators, through the agents that you brought on your team. If you didn't have a system or a database, where would they be working out of? How could you grow if you didn't have that?
Mm-hmm. You have to think like your Air Canada business, no matter how many people you have in your team. I always had that mindset when I have I have an admin and everything. I provide her the tools, the opportunity to work with the system exactly as she was working with Air Canada, even though she has one bus.
And what are some of the most important systems and models someone would need to put in place in their business to have the opportunity you have today?
Without any doubt, the first thing I'm going to say is Command. For people who doesn't know what Command is, we have a platform at Colombia. It's called Command. And I mean, my team don't even have an option. Everything has to be in Command. I mean, we use all the tools in Command, like a smart plan, the campaign, Canva, opportunity, task, database, everything is in Command. I mean, and it's a great tools because then again, it's easy to leverage and to have someone else work with it also, because obviously my name goes in my Command, my team goes in our Command. And without Command, I don't know where I will be. I will have to find something else. But I was having a conversation with my coach this morning to have a platform, but everything is synced together. So we don't have to find who's going to be going through my Facebook, Who's going to be doing my follow-up for my opportunity? Who am I going to pay to link everything together? We do have all that. So there's other platforms like Follow-Up Bus and everything that do the same. We need, I mean, we need a system, we need a platform. I mean, it's, if you want to grow, that's the only option that I see.
Amazing. I think those are all really great contributions. Is there any advice that you would give anybody else? I mean, any other advice you would give someone listening that wants to take on a similar path, that life by design, that golden handoff type of life?
Every time I start with a new agent in coaching or on my team, I always ask them, I said, please promise me to be patient. I mean, I feel that people want to have everything tomorrow and they just started yesterday, and they compare to other agents that were there for a few years and they think they expect to have the same result. I mean, it takes time, it takes effort. And if you do your daily task and you always do, if you're always in action, result will come. No matter when, it will come. I mean, and we don't have the beauty of our business. We don't have any limit. The only limit you have is yourself. So it could be endless. And obviously, I'm gonna talk about coaching because I've been a coach in figure skating, and I'm coaching real estate agent. I'm being coached right now. I mean, I always give the example. I mean, look at the Olympic. Find me one athlete, only one doesn't have a coach. You're not gonna have any. And they are the best of the best, and they are the one who have at least 1, 2, 5, 10 coaches. So there's no coincidence if success is there because they have the support and they've been coached. So if you want to succeed and go to the next level, I believe that everybody should have a coach.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said there. And I like, we do a lot of research around talent and in our industry. And I've probably said this before because I love repeating this stat, but if you have a goal and you just have it in your head, you only have a 10% chance of achieving it. If you have a goal and you write it down and you put a timeline to it, now you have like 40 to 50% chance. When you have a goal, a timeline, a plan, and then you add accountability, you have a 95% chance of achieving that goal. So would you rather have a 10% chance or a 5% chance that you actually wouldn't hit that goal?
Exactly.
So yeah, coaching is something I'm super passionate about. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what people can expect from your coaching in the future, how they can maybe get in touch with you around coaching?
So first of all, I'd be more than happy. I mean, it's been my passion forever. In coaching, the way it works, it's once a week, half an hour Zoom, and it's focused on your priority, your business, and everything. So the first weeks, I'm going to send you some homework to do. So for me to understand where you're coming from, where you are, and where you want to go, and from there we're going to be, be able to know exactly which path you want to be. We're going to work together. It is like you said, like the ball law says, success. It's easy. It's simple, not easy. So everything, all of that is pretty simple, but it's not that easy to apply and everything. So like you said, Anna, to have a accountability partner with your coach in every week, so it becomes much easier. And since coaching, it's a one-on-one call. It's really for you exactly what is your goal. So we do get some pretty amazing results. I'm pretty proud of that.
Can we backpedal for a second? I didn't want to interrupt you guys, but you said something that I thought was just pure gold. So I'm always interviewing new agents. And when I was new to this role, I think I painted this picture, or maybe I had rose-colored glasses and put rose-colored glasses on these agents I was interviewing. And there was a moment where I hired 2 people, and it was the same morning. They both called me and said, Mike, I quit. Mike, I quit. And I really took a deep dive into what I was doing wrong. And what you mentioned there, just please promise me you will be patient.
Yeah.
This is not going to be easy. It's probably going to be really hard. You're probably going to be very underpaid in the beginning for the work you're doing. I absolutely loved what you said there. And I wish there was someone 5 years ago that told me that. Because if the expectation is set, which it wasn't for me, I would have been in such a healthier place mentally.
I told them, I said, this is not a TV reality show. This is reality, period. So you're not going to get with your high heels and fancy stuff and everything and then get out of the listing. It doesn't work that way. Sorry. We're going to learn something else. So you need to be patient and you need to be there every day and do your action. Or else the business is still going to go on, but it's going to be someone else who's going to get it.
Yeah. And I find if you set strong expectations with people, you let them know it's going to be really hard. You're not going to make much money, if any, in the beginning. People either self-select and they choose not to join you because that wasn't their expectation. They want no part of it, or they'll join you and you truly get the best out of them. Something is so powerful about expectations. I was reading something, it was maybe a year ago, about Disney World. And I went to Disney World, I think, once when I was a kid. And I was a very impatient kid. So I wanted to go on the roller coaster ride, but it was a 2-hour wait to get on it. And I would get upset and think this wasn't even worth it. And at one point in time, Disney World's customer satisfaction was very low because people had to wait so long to get on the rides. And they made one small change. They put these clocks in different sections of the line, and you could look up the clock and the clock would say you have 2 hours before you get on the ride. And the person could make the choice about whether or not they want to be there. And the satisfaction went through the roof. And I think the satisfaction of all of our new agents can go through the roof if we're just brutally honest with them up front about what they're getting into. I love what you did.
It's the same with our clients. I mean, my clients are now real estate agent, but as a real estate agent, it's the same with our buyers and seller. If you tell them the truth, exactly what to expect, what's going to be. I mean, if they run away, well, you just said, thank you, I didn't waste any time. If they stick with you, they know exactly what to expect. And then you'll be able to go like going over expecting how you say what expression to go above expecting, you know. So at least they're going to be more surprised than disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people also appreciate just directness and transparency rather than getting into something and having higher expectations and then realizing, oh, no, that's not what it was. And then ultimately leaving dissatisfied. We obviously deal with that a lot from the brokerage perspective. It's thankfully hasn't been like a revolving door, although you do see that in so many different companies around us. And if you do set the expectation, if you are direct, if you're honest, and you're ultimately telling them what needs to be said rather than what they want to hear, it makes for a better culture overall.
Yeah. And everything is so accessible for real estate agent, for anyone, no matter where it works. I mean, I'm going to be 57. I mean, when I was young, there was no internet, no cell phone, I mean, nothing, just playing outside. Today, you have access to everything. You want to learn something, you go on YouTube, you go on the web, whatever, and then there's so many opportunities. So I'm sorry, but there's no reason for you not to learn something because everything it is possible. So whoever wants, but good for them because they're going to go much further than whoever doesn't have, like whoever doesn't really want it or who's not at the right place.
For sure. Mike, did you have any other questions?
No, you just, have you guys ever had an idea in your head? Like you have the idea, but it's never been put perfectly. That's what it was for me when I heard that. Just, I need to tell all my people before I'm in business with them, just be patient. Rome wasn't created in a day. And I find the cool thing when, like with those people, when they are patient, the floodgates open and they oftentimes get more than they could have ever expected. You need to go through the mud before you get there. And not a lot of people are willing to do that.
True.
Awesome. Well, you know, you mentioned that you've listened to our podcast before, so you might know that this question is coming at
Minute
you.
needs work.
Pardon?
I have your name. I'm ready.
You already have it, so I don't even need to ask
that's
the
never
question.
happened before.
Wow.
That's amazing.
When I was listening to your podcast, I said, when she's going to start asking the question, I'm going to give the answer. Hopefully, it's going to be the first time it happened. Thanks, Mike.
100% is.
That's amazing. So yeah, so who do we need to know? Repeat the name.
Mélanie Dubois.
Oh, okay, Melanie. Okay,
So
perfect.
Mélanie is the OP of KW Urbain and KW Connection. You know, in Quebec, the first market center that we had is KW Urbain. And at that time, she was one of the shareholders that opened up and everything. And then in the meantime, she became the OP of that market center. And she already opened up a second one. And she's so inspiring. She used to have her own agency that she transferred to Keller Williams. And she's passionate. She's good. I mean, she's really helpful. I'm sure she's going to be very good on your podcast.
Oh, 100%. I'm kind of kicking myself that I haven't thought of her. I spent some time with her in Texas earlier this year, and her team, like, I'm so close with your team leaders. They're such amazing individuals. So I'd love to have all of them on for sure.
Mhm. I have a question. Am I the first French Canadian on your podcast?
I think so.
Potentially, yes. It's been long overdue.
You're the first of many things. First, golden handoff. First person to be prepared with that question. First French Canadian. I'm sure there are more I'm missing. First high level figure skater.
Oh, that's wonderful. I really appreciate
First
the
person to ever
invitation.
climb a mountain, I think.
You know, when I give a presentation to my sellers or buyers, I mean, we kind of introduce ourselves in the beginning, and I want to hear from them. Also, ask them the question, and I always tell that I'll climb the Kilimanjaro for the I raise money for the children hospital here in Montreal, and every time people react, and I'm very proud of that because, like, I mean, something it's amazing to achieve, and I was able to climb all the way to the top. And I was saying joke, and I was looking to video, YouTube to prepare myself, and people were getting on the top, and then make a video on themselves, and they were just trying to cry and said how stupid they are. I mean, they've been climbing for 8 days. They know they're going to be there in 8 days. What do they cry when they get at the top? Guess what happened? I made my video and I start crying. The emotion was to the roof. I mean, you're tired, you don't have any air, you can barely breathe. So it was an amazing experience.
Yeah, it's a mental, physical, spiritual journey. I'm sure
Yeah.
that's amazing. Well, it's been such a pleasure hearing more about your story, and we'll put your contact information down below if people want to get a hold of you to talk either about golden handoff or coaching or anything else that you could provide value on, which you could provide a lot of value. So thank you so much for hopping on the podcast today, Daniel.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
I hope to see you on the beach soon sometime.
You're welcome to PV.
You will be the man I model myself after.
Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling.